pick myself up, moving on to the better. Hey. Ain't no errors, baby, it's a new era. I wake up early, feeling rich like I'm Kesha. I get to the paper, boy. Extra, extra.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome in to another episode podcast to talk about our favorite team, the Arizona Cardinals. Huge shout out to the people that are currently in the chat. We got Kevin, we got Just For Laugh Out Loud. So we got Oliver, Julio, Michael. Appreciate y'all for being here. Do me a huge favor, smack up the like button here on your way in. We are on the road to 17K. If this is your first time here, subscribe it up. It's absolutely for free. We do got one of our good buddies here, Tyler Drake of Arizona Sports, going to come on in. We're going to be chopping it up here. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the official week start of the 2025 training camp, and I'm absolutely super excited because football's in the air. We got August where preseason starts, and then we got the regular season here back up September. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's go and get started here. Let's go and bring in my guy, Tyler Drake of Arizona Sports. What's up, man? How you doing?
What is going on, man? Good to be a part of this again. Feel like it's been a while since I've jumped on, so glad to jump on again.
Absolutely, man. Thanks so much for making time. Obviously, this is going to be a very busy time for you and everybody who covers the Arizona Cardinals because we got football back in the air. Everybody's really excited about it. How are you overall feeling about just, I guess, the footballness coming back?
Oh yeah, I think last week. So my daughter Brady, she just turned 4 on July 15th. So that's kind of like my last bit of I'm gonna be at home for a little while, and now it's like, all right, I'll see you guys in February, hopefully. So
That's so funny.
It's very much kind of a switch goes off randomly in the brain. It's like, all right, we're there, we're so close. Training camp's almost here. Like, let's just get going. Like, let's go. Let's report. Let's get going and get underway.
That's a fun fact, man. My daughter turns 4 at the end of this month, so July 29th. So that's actually a good way to put it because I told my wife a couple days ago too. I'm like, enjoy this last Sunday because it's gonna be full on, obviously covering the Arizona Cardinals and what's going on. So yeah, that's actually funny that good little tidbit there. But all right, let's dive into it, man. We got a lot to dive into. I want to kind of start off here with the top 100. This is kind of the season where everybody's putting out lists, right? Top this, top that. And of course, the NFL does a great job in putting the top 100 voted by all the players currently right now. I did see a tweet from you probably a few days back saying that there is going to be a player within the next, what is it? I'll let you go ahead and say, what was your tweet specifically?
Yeah. So basically, we already saw Josh Sweat. He was announced like right away that first week. But now between 70 and 61, there's going to be another Cardinal. So it's already going on this week. So we'll see like where exactly. But obviously, a couple of names that stand out to me are going to be James Conner, Trey McBride. So those are some of the main guys right there, and obviously Budda Baker. So that's probably the trio I'm looking at the most, and I'd love to see some guys come up the ranks, maybe a Paris Johnson, Garrett Williams, but I think they might just be a year away still from really cracking that top 100. But the first three I said are definitely, they got to be on there somewhere. They're each of them. I mean, you look at Budda, he's coming off one of his best years as a pro. Look at James Conner, back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons. I mean, it's just, it all makes sense. And obviously Trey McBride. I don't think Trey McBride should be inside, I'd say top 40 at this point. So if he gets announced this week, I'll be a little surprised there. But the other two guys, I think Budda was around 80, 90 last year. So I think this is about where I would see him or maybe James Conner.
I would love to see Budda Baker, somewhere in this list. I got my guy here, Steve, in the chat saying Calais Campbell, maybe another former.
I'd love to see that too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And he's got a lot of top 100 nods too.
And that's a crazy thing too. I mean, obviously, Josh Sweat being in the top 100 just in general. I mean, he wasn't a Cardinal last year, but I'm really excited to see what he's going to do here for the Cardinals, being the fact that we didn't have a lot of pressure and he's supposed to be that guy that, supposed to give us that juice. I'm super, super excited about it. But
and the funny thing is with him though, is this is his debut on the top 100.
Is it?
He had not made it until this year.
Huh.
So that was one of the when I was doing I got a story of like who should be on the top 100 from the Cardinals, and I had to put him in the honorable mention because he's had career years and they didn't even mention him on the top 100. So I was like, if there's going to be a year he's going to be on there, it's got to be this year. But I still had to put him in honorable mention because he'd never cracked the top 100, and it was one of the most astounding, that and Calais Campbell just making it like 6 times. I think that was like the 2 biggest things I learned of the top 100 for the Cardinals right now.
That's crazy. I did not know about Josh Sweat. That's absolutely nuts to kind of
wild.
Yeah, that is really wild. I mean, I'm so excited about this year. I mean, obviously, training camp starting up this week. Everybody's going to be really, really busy. But let's go and dive right into it. Obviously, training camp's going to be a very exciting time. We're going to see a lot of these players, all of these newcomer free agents. You got a lot of guys coming out of the draft as well. Let's start off with kind of what are you looking forward to this year, and what do you think is going to be different from the past couple of years we've seen from Jonathan Gannon to now going into his year three, which, let's be honest, a lot of expectations is playoffs from the fan base. What do you expect to see different from this year's training camp?
Yeah, I think we got to start with the defense of just there was a concerted effort to go build this thing up on that side of the ball to make sure that it was no longer can never be a liability. You can never put it on, or you shouldn't have to put it on the defense that they are going to be the problem of why they lost the game. I think that's what they went out and sought after to do. You see what Nick Rawlis did with very limited weapons. I mean, look at what Buda Baker did last year. I mean, he put him in every situation possible and he flourished. Can you imagine now having some legit guys up front, having Josh Sweat, Calais Campbell, Dalvin Tomlinson, Darius Robinson having a bounce back year, Walter Nolan getting in there? It's just everything should be clicking, and the front seven should be connected to the secondary a little bit more now. And I feel like we're going to see a little bit more creativity from Nick Rawlis because he's got these premium talents now that he can move around like a Buda Baker and really get the best out of guys. Like when you look at Mac Wilson last year being that hybrid guy, I mean, you could still very well see him do that this year on top of maybe getting the green dot, or maybe one of these rookies comes up and steals that, or another inside linebacker. So I'm really looking at the defensive side of the ball. And then from there, I'm looking at what extra wrinkles on the offensive side of the ball what are they going to throw in there? Because it's very much continuity, running it back outside of Will Hernandez. I mean, there's
Yeah.
a lot of the same dudes on this roster. So it's put up or shut up time. I think that's really the big thing is everybody wants to talk about the defense. But when you look at it, there was a clear, hey, this offense is where we need it. They just have to fill in this continuity, get some more wrinkles thrown in, and really take that next step. When I had Kyler Murray on Cardinals Corner, my podcast, he talked about, off-schedule plays, really diving back into that and utilizing his legs that much more could do wonders. And I think he's right on target there. And that on top of him and Marvin Harrison getting better connected, on top of some other guys making maybe that jump, there's a lot to be positive and excited for with this team. They just have to get through training camp. Limited injuries. Injuries are going to happen. You can't have a BJ Ojulari type injury happen like we saw last year.
Yeah, no, and I completely agree. And I had Donnie Duran from SI on Friday. We kind of talked
It's my
about it.
guy.
Yeah, good dude, man. Good dude. I love his insight and obviously what you guys both do and boots on the ground and seeing exactly what happens over there. But yeah, we talked about, this defense and how it's gotten so much better just night and day. All these weapons that Nick Rallis and Jonathan Gannon have to their disposal. My question to you now is, because I asked the same question to him, the offensive side of the ball. Well, why do you think that there's so much confidence in the wide receiving core? Because that's really my biggest I guess step back where I'm going to say to myself, I would like the Cardinals to add some sort of veteran in the wide receiving core. Now, obviously, Marvin Harrison Jr., we're all expecting a big jump. I like Michael Wilson, but that third guy, although I love Greg
Yeah.
Dortch and everybody always wants to run and say, oh, why do you, I don't hate Greg. I like Greg Dortch. It's just, I would like to see somebody else. Why do you think there's so much confidence and not really doing very much on the offensive side of the ball compared to the defense?
Yeah, I think wide receiver is a good spot to start because in my thinking is, hey, they could get a lot more out of Zay Jones. So I think that could be that veteran kind of in the wings. Nobody's really talking about. He's done it before. They just have to get him on track and get going. But another guy, and I think this could very well be a reason maybe why they didn't go out there and get another wide receiver, Xavier Weaver. What can we get out of this guy? I mean, he's a second-year dude. And Jonathan Gannon joined one of the shows here at the station and very much brought him up out of nowhere of how this guy's taken a jump already. I asked about him during, I think, OTAs or minicamp, and he's like, yeah, he's bulking up. You can see that. And the big part of that is contested catches. Get down the field and make something happen. So I'm going to look at him as maybe a guy that could come up the ranks and be that maybe fill in. We need somebody to go burn somebody down the sideline. Just go do it. Just run a straight line and catch this ball. And then you look at the Greg Dortch side of things. He might not get a lot of these offensive snaps he's seen in past seasons because of how much more these kick returns and from a kick return standpoint, him and DJ might be splitting a lot more than we think going into next year because of how much more Jeff Rodgers is expecting kick returns to even increase more with those 5 added yards on the touchback. So I think Greg Dortch is still going to get his reps, but he very well could be one of those guys on special teams that's lighting things up more so than he is on offense. And I don't think Cardinals fans should be bummed about that. But yeah, like you said, they've got to find somebody that could fill that wide receiver 3 role consistently. So is that filling in with the Weaver? Is that filling in with the Zay? Is it filling in with Greg Dortch a little bit less, but still getting him utilized in special teams? There's a lot of questions on that back end of wide receivers. And then with Michael Wilson, he stayed healthy last year, still put up similar numbers. Can he take that next jump? That's the big one right there.
My vote is Xavier Weaver. I love him coming out of Boulder, especially when we got him as a UDFA. I thought it was a really good pickup for the Arizona Cardinals. I mean, we really only seen him during the time where Marvin went down, and he got a lot of reps. And then, of course, when Marvin came back, there wasn't really much. But I would love to see Xavier Weaver come in. Honestly, I'm actually glad that you told me that about JG. Kind of talking about Xavier Weaver, because I do remember listening into these the press conferences on like YouTube and stuff like that. And there's a lot of questions about Xavier Weaver, and I love it. I love that these questions are being asked because it's a big unknown, especially on the offensive side of the ball when it comes down to the Arizona Cardinals in 2025 for the offense.
Yep.
Cool. All right. Well, there's that, and then there's also there's not a lot of teams that have Trey McBride as well. So maybe Trey McBride, they're trying to feed him a lot more in Marvin Harrison Jr.
Exactly.
We'll see how it goes. I'm trusting everything here, and obviously Petzing, as well as just what the regime of Jonathan Gannon is going to be able to do. But let me ask you this here. We've talked about the roster and how it's been constructed so far. We know that the defense has been very, very well upgraded. The offense is kind of a wait and see. I want to kind of get a grasp of where your mind is when it comes down to potential starters that wasn't a starter in 2024, now going into 2025. I do have a graphic here that I'm going to be putting up. I'm not sure if you could see it, but what say you? What are going to be some potential starters you see going into 2025?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think it's kind of a cheating answer, but obviously Isaiah Adams, I think it's his job to lose at right guard. He only had 5 starts last year, but that's one guy I'm definitely looking at as a potential. He could be that everyday guy for the entire season. I mean, he didn't miss a snap when he was starting, so that's definitely a guy standing out right away. And then you got to look at the cornerback situation. No Sean Murphy Bunting. There's going to be snaps there, starting reps available. And for me, it's Max Melton and Will Johnson. Those are 2 guys that I think should be starters at some point in the season. I think Max should have a track of week 1. I think Starling Thomas is very much in that conversation and could be the starter early on if Will Johnson needs to get acclimated a little more. But by halfway through the year, I would expect those guys to be really leading the charge alongside Garrett Williams. If Will Johnson can stay healthy, he's definitely going to change the tide of this defense into a much more advantageous just takeaways unit. So looking forward to that. And then you got to say Cody Simon. Kaiser White's not inside anymore. It's Mac Wilson and who? Akeem Davis-Gaither, maybe. He's probably the front runner right now because Cody Simon's a rookie. Also got Owen Pappoe in there too. There's going to be some hard decisions to make there. But I'm definitely looking at that too. If Cody Simon is really as cerebral as everybody's saying he is and how he was with me talking to him, the dude seems very much ready to go and like almost like a Jordan Hicks 2.0. And I know that might be a little much because Jordan Hicks brought a lot to the table, but the way the guy holds himself and the way the guy's about his business, it's just instantly thought, oh man, this is like Jordan Hicks all over again. So if he could play up to that level mentally, oh man, let Mac Wilson go do what he does.
And that's very fascinating here. And obviously shout out here to, your podcast, Cardinals Corner on Arizona Sports here. You had a lot of great, guests. And Cody Simon was one of them. It was right?
Yep.
Yeah, Cody Simon, Will Johnson, Elijah Jones was on there.
We had Elijah Jones. Yep. Rob Fredrickson joined just last week. So yeah, we've had a lot of good insight from some new guys, some old guys, and it was really cool because we do this thing called pulling cards where we try to pull a Cardinals player out of a pack of random sports cards.
Yeah.
So we had the rookies do it, and Cody Simon pulled a Caleb Williams numbered patch card, which was just our biggest pull we've ever had. It wasn't a Cardinal, but still one of the wildest, like
cool.
1 out of 99. Oh man, it was. He's like, whoa, you need to frame this or something, man. This is crazy. And then Elijah Jones, he actually pulled himself out of a pack of cards, so that was really cool.
That is
so it's something fun we do in the off season, just kind of mix it up because everybody's doing rankings, everybody's doing all this other stuff, so we just try to throw it out a little differently and. It's been fun. It's a conversation starter, if anything. But yeah, it was really funny seeing those guys like, whoa, that's a jersey on that card.
And here's the thing too. I'm not sure, and obviously it maybe takes a specific person, but the card market, sports card market, or just card, market in general.
Yeah.
is crazy wild right now. I know I
It's
feel
a
like
it's a whole other world, man. It's a whole other world.
it really is. You
And
see,
there's a lot of sports fans in there. So it's if you can connect the worlds, I mean, why not?
yeah, I mean, Tom Brady and Fanatics, they had this whole Fanatic Fest going on, man. It was this whole big wild thing. And then like obviously with
Corbin Carroll's huge.
yeah, Corbin, yeah,
Yeah,
100%.
yeah.
It's a whole, and I just think it's gonna get bigger. I mean, obviously with Fanatics are doing over there, and it's nuts, man. So it's cool that you're actually opening up that side of it all too, because honestly, opening up
Yeah.
cards is it is fun. I mean, some people are like, oh, it's not honestly, it's coming back, guys. It really is. It's fun.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Awesome. Cool, man. Well, I appreciate the insight there when it comes down to Cody Simon. I'm excited about it, dude. I'm excited to see what he's going to do. What realistic chance do you think he's got when it comes down to being a starter from like week 1? Or do you think it's going to be more of like mid season?
Yeah, I want to put it over 50%, but there's some competition in that room. And
Yeah.
I mean, if Owen Capo can take the next step, he's going to bring the athleticism to really warrant playing a lot more and maybe being a Mac Wilson kind of hybrid player we saw last year with him. So it's going to be very interesting to see that competition. I think, yeah, there's he's got to get up the depth chart, and it might be tough right away, but
Yeah.
I think it's only a matter of time. Similar with Will Johnson, I think it's just a matter of time for these rookies to really start making an impact in 2025.
So I've asked this before, and it might have been to Donnie, or it might have been to you. I don't remember who, but Zaven Collins going back to the middle linebacker is not happening, right? And I had a right, it's not happening, right?
He's he's gonna be that hybrid type pass rusher that'll drop in coverage, but he's gonna be in the outside linebackers room. If he's
Fair.
not, that'll be a very fun story to write. Let me tell you.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you drafted him to be that, and then when he made the transition, you know, you've seen some flashes here and there, and he was the one leading the sacks, total sacks when it comes down to last year at 5.5. So it's really cool. But like at the end of the day, like I don't know, man. There's always a question on my comments. Saving Collins should go back to the middle, but like I feel like they're confident with who they have, especially when they drafted Cody Simon for like the future. Maybe not for 2025, but maybe 2026.
Yeah, exactly. And with Zaven, I think they like that he can be that kind of cerebral pass rusher that, yeah, the sacks might not be there in terms of what I think people are expecting out of Josh Sweat, Baron Browning, Bijo Jalari if he gets up there. But Zaven does a lot more than just go rush the passer. So
Yeah,
he's definitely utilized a lot better than I think he has in recent years. And yeah, the stats might not entirely be there
reflected.
for what he
Hmm.
is, but I think people should give him a little more credit than what he does get, because I do see that on social media sometimes where it's like, Zaven again. It's like, this guy's he's got it. He's got it. He's just used a lot differently than those normal, uh, household pass rushers, I should say.
Right. I mean, they're keeping him for a reason, and then they did extend him not too
Yep.
long ago as well. So I mean, they really do like him as a player, and he's really good against the run as well. So let me ask you this: you know, obviously we got to get through training camp and preseason, but like just overall, what are your thoughts on potential, you know, surprise cuts? Is that really what I want to talk about? Because
Yeah.
like when you're looking at the defensive line, man, we got depth. Oh, when you look at the cornerback room, man, we got depth. It's absolutely nuts. So I kind of want to get a gauge of where you're feeling about potential cuts. Now, I do also have a graphic on this as well. I have you listed as Justin Jones and Bilal Nichols. I want to
Yep.
elaborate a little bit more.
Yeah. So I mean, you look at the D line; it's a logjam.
Yeah.
They really went there and revitalized a lot, and in a big way. I mean, you've looked at it. I think last year they had six players on the roster, 53-man roster, D linemen. I can count 7 right now before you even get to Justin Jones or Bilal Nichols, and nothing against them. They've had to deal with injuries, and maybe that comes into play, injury settlements and that things like that if they're not ready for camp. But that is where I'm kind of starting, is these guys were some of the bigger free agent additions last year, just from a name standpoint, financial standpoint, and they very well could be some of the first people gone. And that just shows you kind of the roster churning that's happened within the organization. And, now we're getting to the point of like, whoa, this guy's going to get cut. Whereas, okay, yeah, this guy very much probably isn't making another team a couple years ago. Like, yeah, nobody's going to really worry about him. Now it's these are potential starters going to other teams. Like, this is where
Right.
this roster has gotten to in 3 short years. I mean, it really feels like it hasn't been that long that Monty's taken over, got out of the basement dwelling, whatever you want to call it, of the dead cap and salary cap situation that was left behind, and has really revitalized that unit and really defensive line. So those are 2 names I'm looking at especially. And then you look at inside linebacker, there's just a lot of bodies.
Yeah.
Who's going to be the odd man out? I mean, Akeem Davis Gaither is, like I said, he could be in the running to start, but you've got Michael Walker in there, you got Owen Papo in there. There's just a lot of guys that you've got to you've got to get through. I mean, some guys are going to be special team additions, but also you don't need to keep 5 inside linebackers. So I'm going to be looking at that. I think 3 or 4 is probably the number. And who's on the cutting floor, because I think Owen Papo still has a lot to unlock. It's just, can he get on the field?
Right. Opportunity. Yeah. Is he ever finally going to get
Yep.
it? You mentioned about the you can kind of list off defensive linemen. Can you name them off right now, just to kind of obviously just kind of let everybody
Yeah.
know, because you're right. I'm looking at the depth chart right now and it's freaking
Yeah.
nuts.
Yeah. Well, you got Calais, Dalvin, Walter, Darius, LJ, Dante Stills. There's 6 right there. And those
Boom.
guys should be, because you've got LJ Collier and Dante Stills coming off career years. And then if you want to throw in the undrafted guy, Elijah Simmons, he's getting a lot more talk than I thought he was going to get. And I think there's a reason for that. So
I like that.
I think it's going to be tough. It's going to be really tough. But yeah, there's 7 names right off the bat, 6 for sure, that
That
should be locked if they stay healthy.
What a good problem to have, man. What a freaking good, like, this is what we needed last year. But I mean, 2025, man. This is why we're all excited about it. So the defensive line, I think there's a lot of obviously depth there. Cornerback, let's talk about that real quick. I mean, obviously when you're looking at the cornerbacks as well, you're seeing a lot of guys on here as well, just like Starling Thomas V, Max Melton, Will Johnson that we just drafted, Garrett Williams, right? Jaden Davis, the Cardinals got
Yeah.
a pick. Who else? Who else do we got here? Keitrell Clark, right? We got a lot of players.
Yep.
Like, do you see any of those guys potentially getting cut? Like Elijah Jones, like he's a 3rd rounder.
Yeah,
Do you see that?
I want to see more at Elijah. I think injury is he's got to show more, but I do think he's somebody that they really like. He brings you kind of that Will Johnson frame, so I think they like having that length. So yeah, I mean, he's got to get on the field. He's got to stay healthy. Those are going to be 2 big things this training camp. It did look like he was getting back out there in OTAs and minicamp for the open portion that I could see. So
Okay.
good news there. He seems very much ready. When he was in here talking with me, it sounds like he's just kind of doing maintenance more than anything. So
Perfect.
I would assume he's close, if not there. And then, I mean, when I look at it, man, Keitrell Clark has just been such a weird career for him so far.
Yeah.
He comes in and basically starts as a rookie and then all of a sudden falls off midway through the season. And then last year was kind of hit and miss. So as much as I think they like him, he's a guy that I'm going to be looking at as what is his role going to be?
Yeah.
And with all these young guys, I mean, there's some additions in here that could very well make a case to take his spot. I mean, Jalen Jones is a veteran. They need some veteran bodies. So
True.
he's a guy to watch. I mean, it's maybe one of those more underrated, not noticed signings. But you look at Denzel Burke, he's a rookie. I mean, they like him a lot. Ohio State connection, a local kid. So I think Keitrell would be one guy that if there was going to be surprise in the cornerbacks, it could be him.
Wow. Insane, man. You're right. Denzel Burke, Max Melton, another guy, that's just so much talent on this defensive side of the ball. I think that's one of the most things I'm really excited about watching the 2025 Arizona Cardinals. And I remember very, very, specifically last year going into 2024, I was like, man, the offense is what you got to look out for. The defense, I'm a little worried, but let's go, let's rock and roll. And then they had some flashes. They played really hard, so I don't want to take anything away from them. They did a great job with who they had on the field. But like now this upgrade and who they brought in, it's nuts, man. It's nuts to see these veterans that are bought in, like Dalvin, like Calais, and then mentoring these young guys like Darius and Walter Nolan. Now I'm excited, man. I feel like Monty's really put us in a really good position to have the depth that we're talking about all offseason. Like it's crazy to me. It's crazy.
Well, and it's also been what they've talked about for years. I mean, they've talked about we need to, like, obviously they went and got Marvin, but guess what they did in this first round too? They got Darius Robinson too. They made sure every step of the way since they've come to town is we've got to get people along the defensive line. I think if you look at a guy like Dante Stills, he might be one of the most underrated guys on the team right now.
Yeah, facts. True.
I mean, he was in the top 10 of pressures for defensive tackles last year and run stop, or not pressures, but run stop win rate. Like, you've got to look at that, and he might be a rotational guy this year. So, like, if you can have him not be a starter, you're doing great things along the front 7.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I'm glad you also mentioned Elijah Simmons as well. Like, I honestly kind of forgot about Elijah Simmons that we ended up bringing.
He is such a big dude. He
Yeah,
is
he
such a
is.
big dude. Like, there's people when you go out on the practice field, it's like, okay, Calais, monster. Elijah Simmons, monster. Dalvin Tomlinson, monster. Like, these guys are monsters. Rabbit joined one of the shows here and said it's like we're playing with a bunch of woolly mammoths now. It's like, and he's not wrong. Like, these guys, it looks like completely different unit, and they're the closest ones to us while we're out there at practice, but there is definitely a different feel, different vibe, whatever you want to call it within that unit, especially with the young defensive line coach too. I mean,
Yeah.
Coach Debo's got this unit just ready to run through a wall, man.
And I remember, shout out to JJ Watt for for tweeting about Elijah Simmons before he was even in the draft.
Yeah.
Like, he was like a high schooler, and I was like, he was like, "This guy
Yep.
should get drafted." I forgot what he said, but it was really cool to kind of have a full circle moment of like, "Oh snap, we got that guy
Yeah.
now!" Like that's so cool. That's so cool. Cool, man. Well, let me give a shout out here to my guy Mace here in the super chatting. He said, "Sup, Mike? I'm excited for this season. It's my first season living in AZ. Awesome, awesome. And I'm going to every home game. I also just met Kyler. It was awesome. Cool, man. Well, congratulations. I know Kyler Murray ended up doing like a meet and
Nice.
greet. I forgot where it was, but yeah, let's talk about Kyler for a little bit if you don't mind. I know he's doing a
Yeah.
really good job to obviously put his, I don't know. It almost kind of felt like the first several years with Kyler Murray, it was all football player, but you're kind of starting to see like a personal side of him with either it's the vlogs or doing some more meet and greets, the softball tournament, or the
Yeah.
thing that he ended up doing. Like he's starting to kind of be more involved, which is really, really great. But I want to ask you, what do you want to see from Kyler Murray here in 2025? Do you have as much question marks as I do about Kyler Murray going into 2025?
I mean, I think the question marks are there and they're warranted because it's really I don't have question marks through 8 weeks. I think that's what most people are thinking is through 8 weeks, I think we all know what we're going to
Yeah.
get. What is it the rest of the way? And it's been a constant conversation, and can he finally get past that, and can Marvin really help be that kind of guy to help him unlock that? Cuz obviously you look at Trey McBride's stats, you should think he at least doubles those touchdowns. Marvin should at least be at 1,000 yards, maybe similar in the touchdowns department, but that just shows you more Kyler getting it done, finding the guys he trusts the most. But from a leadership standpoint, I think he's doing what he should be doing.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people will say little too late, should have been doing it from the get-go. But when you hear Kyler and how he explains it, he was just a kid coming up. I mean, he was coming in and he had Patrick Peterson, you had all these other big names on the team, Larry Fitzgerald.
Yeah.
You can't just come in there and start throwing your weight around and saying, "Hey, this is my team." And I think there's times where you can do that, but I also think, hey, we're Arizona legends. You're going to fall in line and do kind of let them lead the team. And so now you're starting to see that more. And getting into the community, I think, is one of those steps. And taking his wide receivers out to yearly trips in the offseason to really get to know them better and really get to connect with them, and not just be, all right, I'm off in Texas all offseason. See you guys when mini camp starts or when training camp starts. Like, he's very much in the building every day. He's working hard. It's a different Kyler, and it's a Kyler that I think a lot of people have wanted to see over the years. But now you still have those people of like, okay, well, what else could he be doing? It's like, you've got to give him some time to, I
Yeah.
mean, this is kind of a new avenue. And when we talked about the softball game, I mean, he's like, I've wanted to do stuff like this. It's just, I'm football, that like I'm all in on football. So for him to recognize that and really start getting back out there and trying to connect more with the community, I think is just as big as showing more of a leader in the locker room. I think
Yeah.
that's the part of, yes, he's maturing. Yes, he's taking that next step. Yes, he's not just saying, all right, give me my paycheck, I'm going, I'll see you guys next year. He's really putting in the time. And I think that is only a positive. Like, for the people that want to still get on him about not doing enough, like, you got to give this guy a little bit more time. And yes, year 7, I get that part, but it's from that side of things. I think people should be happy with where he's at. Now you have to do it on the field. I mean, you
Yeah.
can't have a playoff appearance and have that kind of playoff appearance and that kind of showing as a franchise quarterback. And this is a year to do it. There's really no excuses. Like I said earlier, the defense is no longer a liability on
Yeah.
paper, at least it shouldn't be. And the offense has the continuity that they all wanted. You can tell this team wanted to stick together. That unit wanted to stick together. You need to go show it now. This is no longer like, yeah, we just need to execute. No, go execute, get it done, make the playoffs, and solidify yourself as this team's quarterback for years to come. Because if it's another down year and they don't make the playoffs, I mean, changes are coming somewhere.
Yeah.
And that's going to be one spot that a lot of people are going to be looking at.
No, absolutely, and it's one of those things where I tune into some national media stuff, and sometimes people are kind of like puzzled that it's like, oh dang, is this year 7? Like, and I'm actually catching them live, like during they're like, oh, it is year 7. Like they're doing quick math while
Yeah.
on their stream, and I almost kind of feel like the Cardinals, fell under the radar. Whether it's because we're the Cardinals and we're not really get a lot of the big eyes on us because there's not really a lot of success when it comes down to us. But I do think that now people are starting to realize that it's year 7. It's kind of put up or shut up time. Defense is absolutely upgraded. The offense, that's where I'm a little worried, but I'm putting all my eggs in excitement and hopefully, optimism training camp. Let's use what I usually have. And let's see exactly what happens. But I love the idea that Kyler Murray is doing all these things because he is showing the more personable side. And of course, you're always going to get, naysayers or people saying you should do this or do that better. But at the end of the day, I do think he's doing the appropriate things. But I 100% agree, man. It's put up or shut up time. It's the time to not crash and burn at the end of the season. And I'm not saying it's all him. I'm not saying, but like the Cardinals,
No,
that stigma, right? Of like, oh, you were
Yep.
good, man, for the first half, and then second half comes along, and it's crash and burn from there. Because I think the Cardinals were 2-5 after the bye week, 6-4 before, and that's always going to be a stigma that follows. It was with Cliff left, and now kind of the only one there to kind of point the finger to is unfortunately Kyler. So let me ask you this real quick: when it comes down to the Arizona Cardinals in 2025, do you like? Obviously, win games is probably what you want to see the most out of Kyler. But what do you want to see out of Kyler Murray to really kind of convince you that, yes, 2026, this is the guy? Is it just playoffs? Is it that simple?
I think one, it's consistency.
Yeah.
Be in that top 10 quarterback conversation throughout the year. Don't be a potential MVP candidate through 4 weeks, 5 weeks, and then all of a sudden just fall off. Like, I think that's the big thing, consistency. And I think a lot of people want to say the Marvin connection. It's like, yeah, if he's consistent, that's going to be there. If he's consistent, Trey McBride's going to score a lot more touchdowns. If he's consistent, that running game is going to be legit because he's going to give another weapon for defenses to have to look out for and really utilize that. So consistency is the big one. And that's what it's always going to come down to. I think for me with the franchise quarterback is don't be the problem.
Yeah.
If the defense is going to go win you the game, don't be the reason why you have to come back and win it. Like, don't be the problem of this team. And Kyler, I think a lot of the times people view him as like the Superman. He even said it. I don't need to be Superman anymore.
All right.
Don't be the problem. Don't be the kryptonite to the rest of this Cardinals team. I think that's number one thing right there. Consistency, and don't put them in a position where they give the other team short field or they just take away points off the board in a red zone situation or what have you. I think that's really what it comes down to. Make the right read, and if it's not there, live another day.
Yeah. No, that's great. I love that. Let me ask you this real quick. The NFC West, right? When you're looking at it as a whole, I do believe this is a kind of a chance to strike because although I still believe the Rams are the favorite to win the NFC West because obviously Matthew Stafford, there's a chance, man. There's a chance that the Cardinals obviously did enough on the defensive side of the ball. The 49ers, on the other hand, they've lost a lot of big key pieces on the defensive side of the ball. Their wide receiving core right now is in flux. Jawan Jennings might want to hold out. Who knows? And then you got the Seattle Seahawks and Cardinals. So how do you see this play out? Like in terms of do you see the Cardinals realistically being a division winner or maybe a number 2, right? Where do you see the division kind of lay?
I think with how everything's trajectory wise with all these other teams, I would say it's Rams and Cardinals. They should be the 2 at the top.
Yeah.
The Niners, I can't rule them out, though. It's the Niners. It's Shanahan. They've still got a legit offense with Kittle. The thing with them is their schedule, because I think it'd be very easy to write them off, given all of the names that have left. Some big names, but you still got Fred Warner on the defensive side. You've got some of these guys that have extended. So if they can get through, if they can be healthy, they should be right in the mix too. And then Seattle's just such a big question mark.
Right.
I just don't know if Sam Darnold's going to be the same guy he was in Minnesota. It's not the same situation. And I just see them as kind of taking a step back, whereas Rams and Cardinals should be the 2 teams at the top. Niners, I think, are going to be in the mix, but if they have 1 or 2 injuries, they might be very well in that 5-win arena once again.
Yeah, and I have my guy Maddox here in the chat saying Seattle's defense makes Kyler see ghosts. I feel like Seattle was the team that really gave us flack last year. Like
they always are. They always are.
That we were a head doink away from sweeping the Rams. I mean, granted, the 49ers put in like their third stringers in the last game, but we swept the 49ers. We did a great job in week 1 versus the Rams. head doink away from being, sweeping them. But the Seattle Seahawks, their defense, man, I still do feel like that is the team.
Yeah.
That defensive side of the ball is what really the Cardinals should be worried about going to 2025. They got a lot of young talent over there, man. And Mike McDonald, I do like him as a head coach.
Yeah, he's got that same, like how JG and the Cardinals are. I got that same kind of feeling with
Mhm.
him. Like he knows what he's doing. He's got that defensive grit to him. And yeah, I mean, nothing against the Seahawks, but I just there's too many question marks to be like, all right, this offense has changed. I mean, it's going to be interesting, man. It's going to be interesting to see what Cooper Kupp does.
Yeah.
It's very, very interesting.
Last thing before I let you go. We talked about the schedule. You're right. The 49ers have a on paper easy easy schedule. Let's talk about the second half of the Arizona Cardinals schedule because we talked about, we want to see from the first part to be good and then consistently, but that
Yeah.
second half of the schedule for the Cardinals, and I'm just going to start with the Bucks in the end of November. End of November, Bucks. You got the Rams, you got the Texans, you Falcons. We don't know, but then you got the Bengals, and then you got the Rams again. So you got the Rams within like twice in 5
Yep.
weeks. Like that's going to be
Yep.
so tough for the Cardinals to win, but you
Gauntlet.
kind of have to. Like you have to win somewhere in these
Yeah.
games. So let me know what your thoughts overall on this, and then I'll give you. Do you do season predictions in terms of like win loss record?
Yeah.
Okay.
We did one so I was on paternity leave when we did our like really first very early predictions. So
Mhm.
I wasn't on there, but doing a quick skim of it, I was like, all right, 10 wins. That's the baseline. Going back in, we did it a couple weeks ago on Cardinals Corner. It's on YouTube, Arizona Sports. Got to 11, and it was more so of, all right, let's go through each week and really talk about it one by one and not have this perceived notion of yes, they're going to win. So I think I might have switched a Rams win or a Seattle win,
Mm,
but that was about it. But I mean, outside of that, I mean, but that's what it has to be.
yeah.
If you don't want to see changes coming next year, or if you don't want to see massive franchise altering changes, I think 10's got to be the baseline, especially when you get ahead of schedule, or at least seemingly ahead of schedule last year, to only fall off. I mean, you can see this team has it
Yeah.
with a not as great defense. Now they have a legit one. So 10's got to be the baseline. And
Yeah.
if you get to 11, I think you got an automatic spot in the playoffs.
Yeah. No, I agree, man. I fear this back half of the schedule, but you're right. It's still put up or shut up for me. I'm not going to give a little bit grace. You know how I am. So let's see how it goes, man. I'm excited to see what the 2025 season is going to hold. One last time, Tyler, let everybody know how you or where they can find you if they're looking for more Arizona Cardinals content. What are you doing for 2025 so people are fully aware of, where they can find you?
Yeah. So Arizonasports.com. I'll have a lot of written stuff there as always. Not only Cardinals. Well, right now we're doing some Suns, D-back stuff too until we're fully back in Cardinals. But definitely there for any last questions ahead of training camp. I'll have a couple more dropping before we get in there. And then on all the social medias, I just actually but got a YouTube. So I need to start adding some more videos there because I know
Nice.
everybody's on the YouTube train. So
Yeah.
yeah, all the social medias, just find me at T Drake for Sports. I think it's that across the board. Any of them, I think I'm on just about all of them. And then yeah, just Arizona Sports. That's my home, man. So all there, and yeah, follow along. Training camp should be fun. Really looking forward to it. We should have a lot more, I think, highlight reel type plays in training camp because there's going to be more friction. I think they really want to see a lot of competition. So there's going to be some videos you want to see for sure.
Nice. All right, Tyler. Well, I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for hopping in. Hopefully, I can get you on a few different times during the season in 2025. We'll have to kind of set that up, but I appreciate you for jumping on. Everybody here in the chat, do me a huge favor. Smack up the like button here on your way out. Subscribe. We are on the road to 17K. Thank you so much for tuning in as always. Have a great rest of your day. And as always, go Cardinals.